everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to Coffee Chat. Good morning.
Or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We got a few people in the chat already. Jennifer is here and Blaze is here and Jen is here. Hello from Texas.
Hello, everybody. Actually, Blaze and Jen are Texans, or at least in Texas, I would assume, since Jen says she's from Texas.
Yeah. Excellent. I have family in Texas. You are originally from Texas.
I am Texas. I am that.
A lot of Texas love around here.
Yep. Indeed. Louisiana's just adjacent.
Yeah.
Hello, Janice. I love the word adjacent. I can't express why, but I do. I really do.
Donna is here from Las Vegas. Charlotte is here. And Blaze is a native Texan. Yeah. So my family moved to Texas when I was 16. And so I never spent a lot of, I didn't live there for any length of time, but I have peoples there.
All the peoples.
Yes. Hello, Carol from St. John. I don't know where that is.
I don't know either. No. I do not.
What are we talking about today?
I do not know.
Eastern Canada. Carol says Eastern
Canada. Oh, cool. Hello, Haley from Ohio. It is very windy here today in Ohio, especially like here in central Ohio for me. Super.
So. Yeah, it's just rainy and cold here.
Yeah, it's been rainy here too, like tons of rain this morning. Actually, I started hearing the thunder booming and seeing the lightning flash through my eyelids. I don't know if you can tell, but these windows back here, normally we have the shades pulled all the way down for bedtime because that makes sense. But we leave this little bitty gap up here so that a little bit of light comes through. We have some transom windows around the house, and we really like the look of a transom window. And so we kind of made our own version of a transom window by having the shades come down. Nice. But this morning it was just like lightning flashed through my eyelid skin. And I was like, why is it so bright here? What's happening? Oh. And that was like pre 5:30. And I was like, I'd really like to get up right now. But I know that if I get out of this bed right now, I am going to be exhausted this evening. So I'm going to do my best to fight the urge because I'm like a jack in the box in the morning. I want to get up and out of the bed. Let's move on, start the day, do the things. But it was definitely thunder booming out there today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, nothing like that. It's just drizzly, Oregon drizzle. Yeah. Let's see. Judy is here from Albuquerque. Oops. Hi, Infinitely Blessed.
Hello.
Lisa said first time on, but have to go plow. So we'll have to watch the replay.
Fun.
But at least you got some snow.
I mean.
North Ohio. Okay. Or North Idaho.
Color me jealous. I love the snow.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather have a little bit of snow to play in than just the drizzle all week, but it's easier to
the only value. Yeah, the major value add to the rain is the fact that it soaks into the ground and then it, makes sure that the well is not dry.
There are some positives.
So there's those positives. They're few. Question: Are you what are you beveraging today?
Yes. So this is Keto Chow with Equip protein, but since it's coffee chat, I did caramel macchiato. Ooh. With the iced coffee equipped protein. So
nice.
Although at this moment, I kind of wish I had something warm.
Yeah.
I haven't had breakfast yet, so I need to have something. I can't just do another cup of coffee. And so I decided on this, but then now I'm like, I wish it was warm.
Have you tried doing the Keto Chow Equip combo and making it warm?
I have.
I mean, you make the big shakes often.
Yes, I may have. I've done all kinds of variations with Equip and with Keto Chow and with like the other, Perfect Keto Collagen and all that stuff, making warm drinks. So I probably have at some point.
Yeah. That's actually one of my more favorite ways to experience like any of the protein shakes. Oh dear, I have to sneeze.
Oh dear.
It may happen. I'm gonna. It's it's an it's an open loop and it won't close.
Yeah, that's the worst. The worst.
It's not fun. I do not recommend it. It went away.
Okay, all right.
My
There
goodness.
you go. Meg says
Oh,
my
that's
child's
frustrating.
birth family is in Dallas. That is fascinating.
Ah,
Jen says, I'm not a Texas native, but have lived here for 13 years. That's a good long time. You can call yourself a Texan.
that sure is. I have not lived in Texas for, gosh, going on like, I'm in 21 years that I have not lived, like called Texas my actual like permanent residence, which
Yeah.
feels weird.
Yeah.
I remember 2 years, no, what was it? When I was 36, that was officially like the age at which point like I had lived outside of Texas as much as I had lived
Right.
in Texas.
Right.
Because I, moved out at 18 to go to school and
Yeah.
never really came back.
Yeah. Well, and then you've kind of moved around. So I imagine there's not
A little
another
bit.
place that you have created as your home base.
Actually, I feel like every place we've lived, with like minor exceptions, has felt like, wow, this is like a place we could go back to. I'd be content to go back there.
That's good.
And I feel like that is probably one of mine and my husband's, I don't want to call it superpower, but like sort of like more skilled things, is the fact that we can literally uproot and transplant just about anywhere and feel like we are rooted without it feeling too weird for a terribly long period of time. So
yeah. Let's
that's
see.
our
Carol says there's a big storm
pseudo
there.
superpower.
Roy West here from Ontario, Canada. Keto Simple is here. Hello.
Hi, Dustin.
Good morning. He says the sneeze that never comes is the worst. Yep, so true. Meg says, oh, they visit Dallas every year from Philadelphia. Very cool.
Very cool.
There was something I wanted to chat about. Do we
Jinx
together? The kids have gotten into doing the whole jinx thing, and Levi, he does not understand it, so he like tries to. So he's like, Talia, say whatever, and then he tried like it doesn't work, but he's constantly trying to jinx people, and they're like, no, that's not how it works.
For my kids, it's you got to say Jinx, but then they're not allowed to talk until somebody says their name. Whereas for me, it was always growing up, it was like, Jinx, poke, you owe me a Coke. And then it was always poke back, you owe me a 24 pack. Like that's the way we always did it as kids. But then my kids, they do it as like Jinx, and that kid can't talk till someone says their name. And so I actually come in like superhero mom, and I'm like, so and so, and everybody's like, oh, I just jinxed that one.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exact same here. Levi will come running, and he's like, like he can't talk. And then they'll say, Levi, and you're like, yes.
Can I help you, Levi?
Yeah, we do the can't talk thing. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I just want to say hi to Low Carb Spin. Low Carb Spin.
Hi, y'all.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Great to see you.
Okay, real quick, I wanted to talk about something, and I feel like I need to make a video about it also, like another video, because a struggle with us YouTubers, especially when we've been on the YouTubes for a while, we can make a video about something, and then people still watch that video 3, 4, 5 years later.
And that's not a problem.
No, that's great. We love that.
We appreciate that very much.
It's just that sometimes things can change in that amount of time. And the most frustrating that I've been dealing with is changes in products. So I have used a lot of different egg white protein powders over the years. And I've, talked about lots of different ones. One that I used for a while because it was the cheapest and it worked great was the bulk supplements egg white protein powder. And so I show that in some of my videos, and I talked about, the price breakdown and stuff, which is totally not accurate anymore. I haven't used the bulk supplements brand for quite a long time because they got very expensive, and I, found other options that were cheaper. Anyways, but in my old videos, I was using that. They have changed their formulation. And so now it includes sunflower lecithin, it includes monk fruit, it says natural flavors. And I have been getting messages and comments from people saying, I followed your recipe exactly. I even got all of the exact ingredients that you said to get, and it's not working. And so it's super frustrating. So for anyone that is looking for an egg white protein powder, the bulk supplements brand, if you're trying to do the egg white bread, is not a good option anymore. It doesn't whip up. So that I'm going to have to go through all of my old videos and like put a disclaimer in about that. Yeah, and it's super frustrating. So it's frustrating for me, and I know it's frustrating for the viewers that, you know, go and click my links and buy all the things and then not able to actually make the thing. And especially because they're expensive. Like these ingredients they're not cheap. And so I feel bad, and then I'm also frustrated. And so anyways, I'm going to have to deal with that. But for anyone that's watching here, if you want to make egg white bread, the bulk supplements brand is not the option for you anymore.
And the thing that makes it not the option even is the sunflower lecithin, because it has fat. True?
Yeah. So there are some sunflower lecithin egg white powders that do work. What I've found is that it takes like twice the amount of time to whip up. So it can work. Like the original Keto Chow egg white powder had sunflower lecithin in it, and it did eventually whip up. The bulk supplements one has the sunflower lecithin, and it has natural flavors and monk fruit. And so I don't know exactly which
is the problem.
Be all of them combined. There's also different ways of processing the egg white powder. And so some of them, like the one I showed one from New World Supplements or something, it never whipped up also. And I think it was, they processed it in such a way that it mixed into water. It dissolved easier than just regular, which is great if you're using it for protein shakes, but then it didn't whip up. So there's different processing, different ingredients that can affect that. So anyways, I need to do like a big disclaimer video and really go back, because then that's going to be the hard part. Go back and try to find all the links that I put in for bulk supplements. And
I almost wish there was some sort of like a AI tool that you could use to say like, okay, search this on this. I mean, yeah, something, but I think it's weird that they're putting monk fruit in it. Like to what end? Like I like monk fruit.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice sweetener and I appreciate it a lot and I use it frequently, but what is the value add to putting it into a egg white protein powder? I don't understand that.
Unless if it was flavored and it's like, this is your all-in-one drink, just add water. But when it doesn't have the flavor, it's not like you're just, I mean, maybe some people do just mix it up and drink it, makes it taste a little better. That's, I can't imagine that's the way that most people use it.
Well, and then if they have the natural flavors, I wonder what the flavor actually is if they don't label it with like a flavor on the packaging somewhere.
Well, the way the nutrition facts are, it says natural flavors. I don't know if you can see that. Natural flavors and then monk fruit in parentheses. So I'm guessing the natural flavor is the monk fruit.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
So I don't know.
Or it's I don't think it would be bound to monk fruit.
Yeah, I don't know. No,
monk fruit is, I mean, like the amount is so tiny that you can use. Similar with like stevia, powdered form of it, it's like very, very tiny volumes. So
yeah, so I don't know. All I know is that people are not having success with it when it comes to egg white bread, and that is very frustrating.
That is frustrating, but the fact that they were able to let you know that, I think that's a thumbs up. Like silver lining is that now that we're aware of that, we know not to recommend that.
And I just need to do anybody of going back to the videos. So, because I'm still recommending it. That's the hard thing about the YouTube videos. Right. Someone's going to watch it and I'm still saying the same thing.
Still on the hook for it.
Yeah. So I've got to go back and put some disclaimers in. Yeah. If anyone does, need egg white powder, the ones that I currently recommend, and hey, if you're watching this in 3 years, this may not still be true. But
do the legwork.
Exactly. The Now brand egg white powder.
That's what I use.
Never had a problem with it. And then Roseacre Farms still is a great option. And I do believe there's a coupon code that's still active, but I don't know it offhand. I'd have to go back and find it. I need to do that because, because I want to do a video having the disclaimer, this is not one that will work anymore. And then also here's ones that currently at the time of recording still do.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And then it would be fun if we could also do something with AI to the point where you'd like have a little like 15-second clip at the beginning of a video saying, hey, do your research. Some products have changed since the recording of this.
Yes. We need to
take charge
every video.
On every video.
I can't be held liable. All right. Ran Can Cook is here from Salem.
Hello. Very cool.
Let's see. Dustin says, knowing that you need to update things about products. Yeah, you got it.
That is the frustrating thing.
That's the hard thing. Because, like I said, the video is still there. And there's something about a lot of people watching YouTube where they watch a video, assume that it is current. Like I have done different diets in the past and I have, changed my views on things. And so sometimes, someone will watch a video from 5 years ago and type a comment like,
what are you doing now?
Else? And I'm like, well, yes, I am
through the passage of time.
Things should grow with, things but then the video's still there. So, and YouTubers don't typically go back and delete all of their videos that are not, I don't know. That's just not how YouTube works.
Yeah. When I first started sharing on the YouTubes, it was actually about like homeschool stuff. And then I started sharing about Trim Healthy Mama stuff because at the time I was living, trying to use a lot of the Trim Healthy Mama foods and things like that. And I noticed that like there were very limited people sharing their experiences doing Trim Healthy Mama. And I was no longer really doing it. Huh?
If someone doesn't know, that's a diet. Trim Healthy Mama is a diet plan that we both did.
Carb cycling that we sure did. And even after I was back full keto, I was still trying to like show like, here's what it would be on Trim Healthy Mama, because I knew there was not a huge swath of content out there for them. And I wanted to know like, hey, even though this is keto, like this is still appropriate. And I would also try to carb cycle in at the time because I was nursing and that kind of thing. And it didn't work for me. And every time I would try to go back to it, it would not work for me. So, but I still have tons of content saying stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. The great thing about the Trim Healthy Mama is that they do have a lot of great recipes. And because they do separate the low carb and the higher carb, you can still find a lot of great lower carb recipes that are, from them. They're very innovative in their recipe.
They are very innovative. They also use a plethora of ingredients.
Yes.
And at times that can be daunting and you decide like, maybe this isn't for me. But like if you see them, know that it's not capable of being consumed on a keto lifestyle.
Sure. If it's the right kind of meal.
That's right.
Yep. Miriam Bear is here. Hello.
Miriam.
Let's see. Infinitely Blessed says, wow, good info about the bulk supplements egg white powder. I was just about to order some this week. Oh, I'm so glad that you are watching today. So frustrating. I do think, if someone has purchased it and are stuck with it, because a lot of times you can't return that kind of thing, which is frustrating.
Right.
But if you are stuck with it, it's still a great thing to add to protein shakes. You could probably do some recipes with it.
Your protein breading?
I do wonder if different kind of processing would affect it, but it's worth a try. It's definitely worth a try.
Yeah.
So it's still, protein, which is great.
It is still protein. I was going to also say about your protein breading mix. That stuff, like I absolutely love it. I took some mozzarella sticks last night. We had dinner
Yeah.
cooking in the oven, so I pulled out some mozzarella sticks and dipped them in the egg wash, dipped them in your protein breading mixed with some of the Redmond's seasoned salt,
Nice.
and air fried them. And even though I didn't take the time to like freeze them so that they would stay sort of like done,
Mhm.
man, oh man, those were
Yes.
so stinking good. We
Yeah.
gobbled those up in a nanosecond, and I was like, "We're like a real restaurant here with these appetizers and everything. Look at us just
So
go."
fancy. Yeah, I have
We were fancy.
experimented with the mozzarella sticks and, like,
Yeah.
fully intend on doing a video about it, but I just haven't gotten there yet.
Well, I
They're
did
good.
not video mine, and I took a pack of 12 sticks of mozzarella, cut them all in half, and we ate 3 sticks worth, and then I made up the rest of them because I had all of the ingredients, and I don't wanna waste that protein breading, like, it's
Yeah,
good stuff.
it
And
is.
so I have, like, 18 more mozzie sticks just hanging out in the freezer waiting for the next moment that the air fryer is free. Super good stuff.
Mm. Yeah, those are fantastic. Yeah, so the other day, um, Talia, she was like, "Can I make some chicken nuggets?" And she wanted to make them with my protein breading. I was just like, so she's cooking, it's one thing, like, I make something and they're like, "Don't eat it." Like, "Okay, I guess I'll,"
Yeah.
but when she, like, wants to take the initiative and make it herself with my
Yeah.
protein breading, I was just like, "Praise the Lord." And then she was making it, and then she was like, "Hey, dad, do you want some chicken nuggets?" And he's like, "What kind are they?" And
The
'cause
good
he's
kind, Dad. The
yeah,
good kind.
yeah, exactly. She's like, "The good one that like, mom makes." He's like, "Yes, I definitely want that." It's like,
It's those little steps, those
yeah,
little bitty, like, those little moments where you're like, "This feels like a massive victory," and
yeah,
we are making strides to help them see, like, you don't have to choose what's available on the mass markets. You can choose differently, and it can still be, like, amazing.
yeah.
It's good
Well, and
stuff.
then Jeff recently, he said he made a new resolution to not eat enriched wheat flour anymore.
Oh.
Because and so he'll still eat, like, organic or, like, the einkorn flour that I've been getting for the
Sure,
kids.
sure,
He'll
sure,
still
sure.
eat that sometimes, but he's like, "I've made the decision." So when he goes to a restaurant and gets a burger, he gets it lettuce wrapped now. Because I mean, all the buns are enriched flour, like, it's kind of a big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, so, like, when we go out to a restaurant, like, uh, our meals look very similar, which in the
That's
past they
awesome.
did not. So
That's
it's
so awesome.
yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
as we get older, our diets are, like, converging more and more. And it's funny because I used to be a lot stricter about certain things, and I've kind of loosened up a little bit, and then he used to be really loose, and it's all about moderation, and then now he's, like, making these decisions. So we're kind of, we're kinda on the same track now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I felt tremendous, like, internal victory when I had been eliminating the white flour, eliminating the sugar, eating keto, and the husband said, "I'm on the road right now. What would you suggest I eat?" And it
Yeah.
had only been a couple of months into it, a few months into it, and he was like, "Okay, what would you eat on this menu?" And, "Okay, do this, this, and this." And then it didn't take hardly any time for him to say, "Okay, I've got that in my brain now. I can do this on my own." And
Yeah.
like, it was just like those moments where you're like, "Okay, I feel validation for what I've been doing, and I'm happy because my people are on board with what I'm doing in certain places and things like that," and it feels good to make a positive impact.
Yes. Well, and then also just to be together on something. Like, it's hard when,
Yeah.
you're making this decision that you're convicted of, but then they're really not convicted of it.
Yeah.
So there's just kind of that distance. So, eating together is a big deal.
It's
Like
a
that.
huge
So
deal.
when, you're making a decision to eat a certain way, to have someone at least respect that and, even maybe eat similarly, that's important for fellowship and all of that. So
100%.
it's great.
We
Okay.
do like it much.
We have a question from Tennessee Carnivore. Let's
Hello,
see.
Tennessee carnivore.
I really need to make keto carnivore English muffins. Any suggestions? Do you have any ideas?
Well, I've not tried your protein breading mix in a bread format
Neither have
yet.
I.
And I have desires to do so. But you know how it takes like time to work it out in your brain and process the ideas, and then you can eventually execute them. There's
Yeah.
that. I've also been working toward making blend completely nut free, but it can't be
Mhm.
fiber free is the only problem. So that's not a valid option.
Right.
Um, as far as trying to get that texture on an English muffin, I think that will be the biggest issue, but that's where I think that your protein breading might really come in
It's
into play
possible.
with the pork rind crumbs, like, it can add and then more gelatin perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got
So I do know.
experimental thoughts.
Yeah. So I do know that Wendy from Loving It on Keto
Oh,
has
yeah,
an
yeah, yeah, yeah,
English
yeah.
muffin recipe. I don't know that it's carnivore, but it's the egg
Yeah,
white powder based. Um, it probably still has like the allulose and the few different
probably.
things that make it not 100% carnivore, but it's, just it's protein.
Well,
Um,
Tennessee carnivore is saying keto carnivore, so I would
Right.
imagine that having a little bit of some of those typical baking ingredients like the cream of tartar or a little tiny bit of allulose for color or what have
Yeah.
you would not be the end of the world.
Yeah. So I would search Loving It on Keto English muffins and see
Yep.
what comes up. And I do think that the protein there could be something done with the protein breading in a like an actual bread because I've only really
Yeah.
used it for breading on
Coating
nothing
things.
else, the coating. But I had the idea and I just haven't, worked on it yet. It's to make some kind of a drop biscuit where
Yeah.
you like whip up egg whites and then you put in the protein breading. And I was thinking like Cheddar Bay biscuits, like from
Yeah.
Red Lobster. Um, Putting the garlic and the chives and the um, cheese in there. I don't know. Seems like that could be
Yeah.
delicious,
For
but I just
sure.
haven't done it yet.
I think that sometimes my brain, when it comes to recipe ideation, winds up going to like, okay, well, it has to be within this very finite, narrow parameter set,
Mm,
i.e., it needs to be completely carnivore, but I also need it to be dairy free because people need dairy free. And I can get a little heavy handed with dairy most times, but it also needs to have this, it needs to do that, it can't do this, it must do this. And all of a sudden you're like, well, what's the point? I might as well just A, eat scrambled eggs, and B, put it on top of steak. That's
yeah, yeah,
that's the thing. I always wind up like I paralyze myself mentally, but I do think that your protein breading could be an integral piece of a muffin puzzle.
yeah. The other thing I'll mention is if you're looking for something carnivore, 100% carnivore, Courtney Luna has a bread recipe that she's done that's I don't even think it has egg white powder. It has eggs where she separates and whips up the egg
Mhm.
white, and then there's pork rinds and lots of butter. It's a very high fat recipe, it looks like. Um, and that could be made in some kind of a muffin shape, I can imagine. I've seen her do it in loaves.
Yep.
Um, but that would be good. It had the pork rinds in there with that, texture. So
That is one that I did try out using your breading recipe, actually.
Oh, you
And
did?
to me, it flopped. For me,
Oh,
it flopped.
yeah.
But, environmental factors are also,
Such a big deal.
an ingredient in the process.
Yeah.
The and so it flopped, and I wound up just turning it into a bread pudding, and it worked out nicely in bread pudding.
Yeah.
Therefore, it it's it
Yeah.
was not a waste of ingredients. That's one thing. It feels like such a heavy burden to not waste ingredients, but the
Yes.
reality is that we can take thing A that flops and convert it to thing B that if it's not a major success, at least it won't be a huge waste of ingredients.
Sure. It's
So
still consumable.
that's right. That's
Well,
right.
and then my favorite thing about having chickens is that nothing goes to waste. And
Literally.
then I don't have to eat it.
I unfortunately have to find other means by which to consume the
Right.
flops.
Yes. You need some chickens.
I wish. I want chick
Okay.
I want a big old
That would be nice. That would be nice. Chris Bear,
But that's a really good question. Thank you.
yes, thank you. Chris Bear also has a great question about putting sugar in pork rinds. So I do agree, although
The preservative side of it.
well, so okay, I did a video on the sweet pork rinds from Pork King Good, and so
Yeah.
those ones have sugar in them. And I said in the video something about like, why can't they just use stevia or allulose or something and just, keep it fully keto, even though it's still very low carb. And
Right.
someone from Pork King Good actually responded and said that legally they can't use non-sugar sweeteners in meat products. And so that's why you don't find allulose sweetened beef jerky and stuff like that. They have to actually use sugar if they want the sweet taste. So
Sure.
but then at the same time, it's like a lot of these don't need sugar in the seasoning. Like it's unnecessary in a lot of situations. But then there are some like barbecue or like the ketchup pork rinds that they do. They have some coconut sugar in there. Those are really good. Like having that little bit of sweetness makes the flavoring, but a lot
Sure.
of times it's like meat doesn't really need sugar added. So yeah. And then Dustin was asking another great question, why do they cook them in seed oils? It's like, come on. Come on. It's like they come with all the fat to cook them in.
Hey, speaking of pork rinds, I bought the Rudolph Foods like big, massive 10-pound bag of pork pellets. And I'm like, I mean, I've had them for a little while and I am alarmed at how fast we go through them.
Oh, I haven't been using them. I need to. I just kind of forget about it.
So, like your protein breading, I will sit there and spend like if I'm in the kitchen doing like 18 other things, I will make sure to pop some of the pork pellets into the air fryer so that I can pop them and then pop them into the Vitamix to turn into the protein breading because it takes 12 ounces of pork rind crumbs.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a step to get there. But
Yeah.
I've never actually attempted any of the Porking Good products. It's just not something that I've been like, I have to try these things. It's more like, oh yeah, that's kind of like an interesting thing, but it's so far from my forefront of my mind. So I'm always like, okay, just go pop some pork rinds and let's just go pop them in. So I've gone through so many.
I need to pull them out and just use them because I just forget that I have them and I don't use them.
Well, I divided them up in like Food Saver vacuum sealed bags in 1 pound containers. And I thought, okay, that'll be perfect. They'll last forever that way. I tell you what, I kind of regret putting them in 1 pound packages instead of like putting them in like, like 2 to 3 pound packages based on how quickly I go through them. But it's great. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, Ran Can Cook was asking Chris about the egg white powder from Keto Chow because that is not currently in stock. And he says, we're still working to get our egg white powder back in stock. It's just crazy how expensive it is. Yeah. And it makes me wonder, like, the change in the ingredients with bulk supplements, if they just weren't able to keep getting what they had been getting and they found something that was cheaper and, processed a different way or something. And that's why they changed because the ingredients on that one are very similar to the New World one that I talked about that never worked. And I wonder if they're getting their stuff from the same supplier now.
Highly possible.
Because it seems like the same ingredients. So I don't know. But yeah, it is expensive. Let's see. Dustin says, I've had companies try and justify the seed oils saying that it's just the start of the process, but the end, it's mostly pork fat. Still would rather not have it.
Yeah, I'd also rather not have it, but
yeah. And then Chris has the suggestion, how about just keep the lard from the last run and use that to start? I mean, come on. It's not that hard.
These are the types of troubleshooting ideas that I think they need on their team.
Exactly. They could learn something from Chris Bear. Let's see. Chris is asking Dustin, do you do Trim Healthy Mama? It seems like something you'd be into.
100%, I believe that.
I
Dustin is
think
all
you-
about that THM life. He's
I
a
think
trim, healthy mama.
I think they tried to rebrand it to just Trim Healthy or Trim and Healthy or something.
Oh, did they?
I'm pretty sure they have, to try to incorporate, more people. It is a pretty select group of people. It's not just even all women. It's just moms. So,
I mean, whatever they want to do. It'll always be trim, healthy mama in my brain.
okay, so Rand Can Cook is asking what egg white protein powder I recommend. I did answer this a bit ago, but in case you didn't hear it or people are jumping in now, the Now brand egg white powder, they do have some flavored ones, which I've never tried, but they have an unflavored, and that one is good. It's only egg whites. If you're worried that you're getting the right thing, make sure you look at the ingredients and make sure the ingredients are only egg whites or egg white powder. Sometimes powdered egg whites, they'll say, but as long as that's just that one ingredient, you should be good to go. I can't make any guarantees, but you should be good. So Now brand, and then also Rose Acre Farms, their website that they sell the egg white powder on is sportprotein.com. They're also a good quality product. And those ones are actually cage free. Ryan wanted me to make sure to mention that, is that there aren't any, as far as I know, there aren't any other egg white powder brands that are certified cage free. So there you go.
It's good information.
Yeah. Dustin says, probably a disclaimer at the start of new product videos. If you're watching this in the future, yes, I can't make any guarantees for the future. Let's see. Yeah. Chris says, you're operating under the illusion that people who can't see how long ago a video would pay attention to that disclaimer. That is true. There's only so much we can do. We do our best. Let's see. Mary is here. Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Let's see.
How far down are we? We've been slow.
I know.
Well, that's actually not abnormal, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess.
Okay. Oh, so Chris says, question. We learned last week you and the fam are coming to Utah in May. Any news on the Murphy clan joining us as well?
So, if you're unfamiliar, Chris happens to be talking about the very next meetup happening at Keto Chow's headquarters, and that will happen in mid-May. So if you happen to be in the Utah area, Neely and I get to actually come and chat and hang out with y'all. No clue what we're really gonna do and add value, but we'll tell you our story. We'll be there. We'll be happy to chat it up with you and tell you that even though we don't have it all figured out, we're still trying and still sojourning on with seeking health.
Sojourning.
Yeah. Both of them. We're doing both. It's accurate. Sometimes it takes a lot of muscle to get through it.
Go to lowcarbevents.com, and that has all the info about when and where and all that.
That's right.
You don't.
And I do not know yet whether or not the entire Murphy crew will be present or not. That's just, I hate to say this, but it's so far in the future for us. It's hard to make definitive, okay, yes, this will happen. We've got this and whatnot. I mean, that's just not the way that our life operates.
Yes. We're still holding out for it. One day,
we will hope for it.
One of these days, all of our kids will get together and it will be all glorious and wonderful.
Well, and the thing of it is at that point, they will be BFFs for forever and ever. Amen. And then we're going to have to figure out how we can get them together all the time.
Yeah.
That has to be a thing.
I know it is. It will. I mean, it will.
We believe for it.
Name and claim
I've heard that works.
Ooh, Miriam has an idea about the English muffin. She says keto chow in an English muffin would give it a little body. Yeah, like
Absolutely.
the protein as well as the fiber in there would probably be great. And you could choose what flavor would you choose? I mean, you could do like the
I
beef.
think I would do chicken or beef
Yeah.
soup.
You
I
could do
think
the
that's the way I would
potato and
go.
make it potato flavored.
For sure could try that. Well, I don't know that you could if you don't have access to it right now because we're in the watch and wait
Yes,
period
that's
of the
true.
keto chow
Very
flavors.
Yes. Okay, Tennessee Carnivore says, I've seen the one from Wendy and thought about trying it. Yeah, I haven't tried it either, but she comes up with some great recipes. So it's definitely worth a try. I like the idea of the protein breading too. Thanks for the thoughts. You're welcome.
Hey, and if you do try it with the breading, like come back to this video on Neely's channel and leave a comment to let us know whether or not it worked for you because
Yeah.
it's always great to have other people's experiences doing those things.
Yeah.
And I think that would be really good.
Yeah, I have gotten so many great ideas from comments on videos because I can't try everything. So when I get, an idea from somebody, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Miriam says now we all want Cheddar Bay biscuits. I know. Well, I know what I'm doing after this.
For the seafood lover in you.
There you go.
I tell you what, if there's not a jingle out there, we'll find one. We'll come up with one.
Jen says the whole family likes the protein breading, which is literally a miracle. Yeah, I feel the
That's
same
so
way.
great.
That's
So
the
great.
best kind of recipe. Makes me so happy. Oh, Dustin says getting both Lindsey and Neely to Keto Palooza would be awesome. I know it would be. I just live in the wrong place for that. We need a conference in the Pacific Northwest. I'm so bummed that there's just not one.
Well, yeah, I mean, and y'all have so many cool activities to do out there as well. I mean,
We got the ocean, we got the mountain, we got the forests.
the black sand beaches to me are always the coolest thing. I remember the first time setting foot on that black sandy beach out there on the western or it's the western coast of Oregon. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Sing It says just caught up, back to normal speed. Isn't that fun? I do that too, where I'm listening to it, and then it's slowly like, oh, they're talking normally again. Okay, let's see. Okay, Chris says I'm fine with not sweet as far as the pork rinds because Miriam is sweet.
Miriam is sweet enough.
Don't need more.
Oh, that's so sickeningly sweet.
Yeah, so get a
I
room.
think I got a cavity.
Okay, Sing It's asking about pork rind pellets. Go.
So, Two Crazy Ketos shared the video first that I'm aware of. There could be others before them, but the one that I'm aware of, the Two Crazy Ketos found a way to home make pork rinds, and they're little pellets, which is basically just dried out pork skin, dehydrated up, and they're little bitty hard pellets. And if you try to bite into one, you're gonna crack your teeth.
Okay.
And then you just fry those. Like that is the pre-fried version of a pork rind. And you can fry it up a variety of different ways. You can do it in the air fryer. You can fry it up in lard. I love frying them in tallow whenever I'm willing to make a mess. They're amazing. I have not tried them in the microwave yet, but I'm sure that they would do something in there, like spray them with some spray tallow or something like that, and then fold them up in a brown paper sack or something and pop them in the air or into the microwave. That might work. Disclaimer, I have not tried that, so try that one at your own risk. But you can just always have fresh pork rinds at a moment's notice. And Rudolph Foods is where you buy those in like a 10-pound bag. Back over the summer, they were like $50 for a 10-pound bag, give or take.
And that will last you forever.
Well,
I mean, unless you're a Murphy. It's gonna last me forever. No, fresh pork rinds are so good. Like, if you've never experienced that, the first time I experienced it was at a restaurant. I ordered the pork rinds and, like, they're still I realized why they're called cracklins. Like, they were still crackling.
Yeah, you still hear the
Eating that. It was so good. So good. Highly recommended. I know what I'm making
Yep.
after. I'm making cheddar bay biscuits and fresh pork rinds.
This sounds like an excellent plan. I like where this is headed.
All right. So there's been some talk about Jack Link's, and Dustin says Jack Link's uses pineapple powder in lieu of sweetener. Deception. And then Murphy.
Murph jar.
Jared, easy on the Jack Link's, people.
For some context, we have some experience with the Jack Link's protein snacks, and while the products are not perfect, they're tasty and they're good, and they are readily available.
Mm-hmm.
And they have multiple different lines. Larissa's Kitchen was actually one that came out when we were with them, and it was they had like some really good flavors, but they also had like more quality ingredients with them. But take it easy on the Jack Links.
So Jennifer is asking what will I be speaking on at the meetup for Keto Chow?
Yeah, Neely, what will you be speaking on?
Lindsey, what will you be speaking on? That's what I want to know. We haven't ironed out all
It's such a big secret. It's hidden from me.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to spoil it for ourselves.
That's right.
No, we're still working on it. We got some ideas. We're going back and forth. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun.
Maybe we're actually gonna bring Sorry, and we're just gonna play Sorry, and every time that you land on seed oils, you get knocked off the board. Sorry.
Wow. That would be fun to make a keto board game.
Keto board game. Oh, for sure.
Fun. Okay, I think we're gonna have to do that.
Also, that idea literally just happened, so y'all are welcome.
Okay, let's see. We're coming up to the end here. I want to make sure we get all of the important questions. There's a lot of chit chat going on, which is wonderful.
I love that y'all are all here. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. I hope we bring a little bit of entertainment to you, even if it's not a whole lot of, it may not be a whole lot of like useful, implementable, tactical stuff, but
it's more fellowship.
It is. That's what this is about. It is a chat.
Too. That's important too. Everything doesn't have to be 100%. Like a teaching.
That's right. 100%.
Oh, so Rand Can Cook is going to be there in May. That will be awesome.
Yay! It'll be so cool to meet you.
Chris is encouraging Jared to figure out his plans for May. What could be more important?
Jared also responded to that. So we got the things and the stuff and the stuff and the things.
Oh dear. The pilot's leaving. Come on.
Well, it's a pilot's market out there these days. So it's one of those things where you kind of like you anticipate it happening at any minute, and you're really appreciative whenever your people are like, I'm going to hang my hat right here. I'm happy right here. And you're like, oh, phew. That's one less thing to have to worry about. But at the same time, you're like, I understand, but also.
Yes. Hayden was asking, good day. I wonder if Keto Chow will be on sale at the event, cheap enough to justify paying for the travel and the hotel. Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm gonna say that Keto Chow is worth it for the sake of like just simplified nutrition. So I feel like that in and of itself pays for the Keto Chow.
Okay, and Chris is saying it's 10% off at the warehouse storefront.
We get to go to the storefront.
No, that's going to be so exciting.
I'm super excited.
And then also you can get flavors that are sold out online. You can get in the storefront. So there's
possibly.
That. Yes,
possibly.
Yes. So I would say you'd probably have to buy a lot of Keto Chow to justify. But you're not just coming for the Keto Chow, right? I mean,
For sure. Hey, also, since we're going to be at a warehouse, I used to work in warehouse. Is it possible that I could drive around a cherry picker or a forklift or something for
That's starting to sound funny.
for funsies? I can go shuffle some pallets around. I know how to do those things, or at least I did at one point in my life. Can't you just see me on a forklift?
We can.
And a cherry picker just
Very wow. Well, you can come visit here and you can drive our quad around. That would be fun.
I'm good with that too. Solidly into that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories is Jared's aunt and uncle. They had a bobcat whenever I first met them, and it had like a 4-way bucket where the bucket would like and it would open up and you could like close around trees. And I went and picked up a dead tree and then was able to shove it down into the gully, and I felt like that was literally the best part of the experience. Like, I got to do some real work with a really cool piece of equipment. I'm into it.
Okay, so Blaze says that Keto made some pork rinds in
Oh, perfect.
So there is another brand that Steve has talked about that came out with the pork pellet thing. And so I think he uses a different brand, but it's good to know that I'll have to look at his video and see how he did that. But good to know. And then Jared says he's nuking some pork rinds when he gets home. So
he's gonna blast them with the microwave.
Prepared for that.
I will be ready.
I'm not.
There's so many fun comments, everybody.
So many fun comments. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Hayden says, oh my goodness, can you imagine a keto board game and the arguments that would happen while playing depending on how strict the people were?
What if we had it divided into houses, like on the board?
A house of ketovore?
Yeah. No, it would be like the purists and then the dirty ketos, or the just get, like convenience keto. Oh, that's an interesting
diet.
Oh yeah, like lions. And then over here, the Dr. Bergs.
Yeah. I was like, maybe we could have it like, I am of Dr. Berry. I am of Dr. Berg.
I'm Dr. Wiedemann over here. Who do we got? We got maybe a Dr. Boz with the sardines. That will be their crest.
Collect sardines. If you collect enough sardines, you get to be in the Dr. Boz house.
That's right.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, we got to do this. This has become a thing now.
I'm just, the only thing I'm good at is ideations, just spitting them out. I don't know about the execution. I mean, we need to find somebody on execution.
Someone should really hire us as idea people. I mean, we tried to talk Chris into it at one point. Like, I mean, they just keep coming.
And we can't stop it.
Yeah, well, and we can't execute them either. So
sure. We're like the
on that one.
We're like the tide on the shore. We just keep crashing. Here's the idea, and it stops.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to understand comments, and I'm not.
It's okay.
Like maybe not sleeping well before make you hungry the next day when you fast, and absolutely
probably
that can be true. Yes. It's well documented that not sleeping well can increase your appetite. It can increase your blood sugar, which in turn can increase your appetite. So yeah, definitely. And so I don't fast often. It's very rare. But definitely would not attempt to fast if I did not sleep well the night before.
I feel like that is the most evident in our children. Like if your child sleeps poorly the night before, and then the next day they're cranky and they're constantly just chirping for food. Yes. I want a snack. I want a snack. I want this. It's like, okay, we're going to take a little bit of an earlier bedtime tonight because you clearly need some more sleep.
Well, I feel like my kids are like that whether they slept well or not. At least the boy.
The man child.
Always food. can't comprehend how much food that boy eats.
Where it all goes.
He's always hungry. Always. Well, and he doesn't have an ounce of fat on his body, like, just but he eats all the time. Oh, he was digging into chicken wings yesterday. That's it's one of my favorite things, is to watch him eat chicken wings. It's so great.
Because he just goes like all in.
All in. I mean, it's all over his face. It's everywhere. And he's, at the point where he knows how to eat it off the bone. And so he's like,
that's
ripping
awesome.
it. Yeah, he's pretty amazing. Chris says that they have 2 reach trucks, forklifts, and 4 pallet jacks. Oh,
I used to, if they're the kind that we had, you could fit 2 pallets on the jack, like lined up, and you could just all over the place. And I did do the reach truck, the cherry pickers, whenever you yourself like go up in the air with a pallet on the side, and you like pull stuff from the higher racking and whatnot.
Yeah, I have not used a lot of heavy equipment like that. I leave that to my husband. I don't trust myself with it.
I'm not saying I was any good at it, but I've done it.
All right. Oh, yes. That's not Keto Buzzer.
Yeah. Heck yeah, I'm into it.
It's going to be such a good game.
Whenever somebody comes up with it.
Yeah. Like I said, we're the idea people. We're not the execution people.
You know who's really good at executing? I feel like if my kids got on board with it and I said, here are some materials, create for me this thing, they would come up with something. I feel like children and games go hand in hand. So I think that if we said, here, take this trajectory and just go with it, it could come to fruition.
I love it. Okay.
Refractory epilepsy. Chris Bear came up with some houses if it fits your macros, or ketovore, or treating refractory epilepsy, Dr. Boz ratio, etc., etc.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
I feel like
I wonder if you have to reach, like you get dirty keto first, and then you have to do some
work your way up the levels. These could
then you get to carnivore, lion diet, then you get to like what's the
ultimate awesome human?
Yeah, transcendence.
Perfect human.
And then you're like, you added fruit and honey, go back 10 places.
You Dr. Chafied that one. Back it up.
Dr. Saladino tempted you. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good.
I feel like we would get into a lot of trouble with that, though, because people would be like, you used my name in a board game. Copyright strike.
No, they would be honored. I think they would.
Trademark.
No, we'll just have to change it just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Instead of Dr. Boz, it'd be Dr. Buzz. Uzi. Dr. Berry.
Dr. Strawberry.
Or BEAR-Y.
Dr. Salad Dinosaur.
What about Dr. Baker? Dr. Candlestick Maker?
Dr. I don't know. Dr. Bread. Yeah.
We can do it all. We can do it all.
Whew. Yeah, I think oh yeah, ask Dr. Berry if we could name it PhD, the PhD game.
I feel like we could use it, like, instead of it being proper human diet, we would need to change up those names to make it funnier and more like a pun or some sort of a play on something or other. I could be wrong, but
whew. Well, that just made my day.
We really didn't know what we were going to talk about today, y'all, and we found that rabbit hole and we chased it until we found the end.
Go down the rabbit hole. Advance 10 spaces.
But get stuck in this particular information loop for 3 circuits.
Oh goodness, yeah. Go take a walk to get out of this loop. Get some fresh air and nature. Ooh, cold
Test your
plunge.
glucose.
Cold plunge, extra 10 points.
There we go. CGM. 1 extra turn.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well,
Panda massaged beef. Go to the end. You've won.
grocery store meat. Go back.
Ew.
You're no longer on the carnivore. You're in dirty keto again.
Return to start. Fail.
Do not collect any.
Do not collect.
Any.
Do not collect one more health marker. Do not collect free testing of your blood markers.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Man,
well,
we're just winning at this game today.
We could do this all day. Virtue signal on social media. Collect $200.
Okay, we're not making a social media game. Okay, I feel like that's conflating 2 different concepts, and I can't.
Well, if no one sees you eating your panda massaged meat, are you really eating panda massaged meat? Checkmate. It has to be seen to exist.
We need outward validation for all of it.
Mhm.
Go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should hop off here.
We should.
Go, so I guess we should go too.
Yeah, probably. Although I have to say, we have to add another card into this, like made bone broth from your panda massaged beef bones. You win ultra transcendence.
Yeah. Oh, what about eating raw liver? That's got to get you like 100 points.
100%. Oh,
yeah. If it's raw, you get 100. If it's cooked, only 50.
Only 50.
Yeah,
it's true. We did it. We did it.
Everyone, head over to Dustin's channel because he's going to do a live right after this. So
he's going live on the verticals.
Keep the party going. Yeah, that's a thing now. You can go live on the shorts
thingy.
I don't get
the thingy maboobers.
The shorts are no longer short. Have you noticed that? I was watching one the other day. It was like 4 minutes long.
What?
And I was like,
I thought they could be a max of 60 seconds.
I guess not anymore.
Well, this salad dinosaur doesn't know.
Yeah. That's it from us for today.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed
Yep.
We will be back next week, same time, same place. And
have
a wonderful day.
Yep. We'll see